All right, guys, Dominick, Izzo, Wing Chun out here in Chicago. Hope you guys are doing well. Hit that like button, hit that thanks button, hit that comment section, type in what you want to see. I want to go over a very short video today on an energetics application again, too. Remember, these are critiques, right? Can we say, and I think it is safe to say, any martial art and any tactic or technique that is ever taught can work. It's just incumbent or dependent on the person using it, the situation using it, right? So I think if we look at variables such as height, age, range, and age is going to slow people down, right? Pick a physical attribute, cardiovascular endurance, musculature, strength, all that. Everything's a variable, okay? So anytime I pick apart a context of a video clip, it's not meant to be insultive. It's meant to go, all right, I'm putting what this person's teaching up online in my physicality. Could I make this work or not, right? And again, too, I think one of the best and worst things with YouTube is YouTube limits the practicality of learning in a classroom for years. I'm going to a video today. Let me pull this up here for you really quickly. This is Dave Gallow's channel. I don't know anything about Dave Gallow, so let's go take a look at Dave. I just came across him. Dave Gallow is the owner of Warrior's Breath Martial Arts. He created this channel to bring you the highest and best quality instructions, techniques, drills, fighting principles, and strategies of the traditional Wing Chun fighting system and Muay Thai. If there's anything specific that you would like me to reach out and teach, okay, now I know why this popped up in my suggestions, because I've been going over the traditional Wing Chun. All right, Dave, this was not meant to single you out. I don't know you. He's got 250 subscribers. If you like his content, I think you should go and subscribe to it. But I want to look at this. There's the video I just pulled up. I don't know what this technique is, but we're going to go over it in real time, and I'm going to give my breakdown because I saw this, and I'm going to give you what I think about this. We'll just put this into, let's get this going here.
All right, so with the chin sao means threading arm. It threads between 2 points, your arm and his. So when he throws the punch, I'm going to pak sao, I'm going to thread.
Okay, I'll break this down bit by bit, right? Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you pocket the wrist, you're pocking wrong, right? You're pocking for defensively. Dave, again, this is not disrespectful. Please, this is just, I don't care. If I'm an asshole, I'm an asshole. If you pocket the wrist and you teach your students to pocket the wrists, you're pocking defensively. They need to pock at the core so that any time that if contact is not made, that pak sao can turn into a strike at the core. Pressure on the wrist brings up the elbow. Pressure on the elbow brings up the wrist. You pock me on my wrist, I'm going to fold over that elbow, continue into you. And that chin sao, which I'm really not familiar with, that's found all over in the third form in Bill Jean from thrusting fingers. We call it the Indiana Jones replacement theory, and I'm going to show you, I did skip ahead a little bit, about why your teaching, your text of this is wrong. It's just, it's not responsible. But you can you're a bigger man. You look like you're at least over 6 feet tall. You can get away with this. Somebody my size, it would not be responsible to do.
Let's go this way. I'm going to thread between my arm.
Already in the motion coming up. If you do Wing Chun, you see what I'm talking about. If you come up, I'll let him keep talking.
And it's going to come up almost into a go bone position. From here, I could step off line and lock. The reason why we thread against our own arm is if you throw and you and I go to thread and I thread against your arm and you pull that arm back, this is what's going to happen.
Which should be happening in the first place. Oh, you should always have forwarding energy continuing into the core. We don't chase the hands, we chase the core. But if you see the traditional William Chung's lineage, they chase the hands like motherfuckers. It's what they do.
There's a line here, there's an opening here. That's why we never thread against our opponent's arm. So when we're here, I thread against my arm. In the event he throws something else, my shin sao is up.
It's defensive. Defensive. Look at this again. No volume. And again, remember, this is a 2-minute video on this Sifu's page. It's not fair. So, of course, we're doing these for entertainment purposes. We're doing them to create conversation. It's not fair for him. He's not here to justify or qualify or respond to any of my videos. So I want to acknowledge that. Anytime I do these videos, I know that it's my stuff against theirs, and I'm not going to be the person who's like, oh, this stuff is bullshit. I don't think it would work for me, but I think Dave could probably make it work for him. But if you look at this, when he pocks and he goes up, that's defensive. This could be a drill in class. This could be a technique in class. But if you're gonna pox out one with no forwarding movement, which he didn't do, let's look at this again. Pox out with no forwarding movement, and then thread up, and then turn into the other attack, and then attack again. You just did, well, it's 1 and 2 movements, 2 beats, 1 movement. You did 2 movements with no forwarding advancement. You're not attacking the core. The problem, remember I said one of the worst things in Wing Chun is when people do chi sao and they do the lop chop motion and they go to grab something that's not there. If your student decided to back out and you just stood there, he gains position again. You did not smother him. There's no smothering in this tactic. Again, I'm looking at this as, all right, what happens when somebody wants to research Wing Chun online and they come across this video seeking validity? There was no explanation in the beginning of this video to say, hey, this is just for a technique in classroom. This was a 2-minute clip, which keep promoting stuff. I think we should. But fuck it. This is not responsible Wing Chun teaching.
I can interrupt his motion. But I cannot do that if I thread against his arm and he pulls his back. I'm going to be number one off balance.
Not if you step in. You just did it correctly. That's the action right there. Watch this again. This is it.
If I thread against his arm and he pulls his back,
you should be going forward, because as he pulls that arm back, because we know that the days of fighting in feudal times, Japan, China, with armor on, leaving that punch out, which is what traditional karate and all those blocks were for, because it took a second to bring the arm back with all that metal on. When the arm retracts back, where's the arm going? To the originating spot where the energy starts. So you should 100% be following that arm into the core. That should be one of the first lessons, because the problem is when people are taught that way in Wing Chun, they see all this other flashy bullshit. They're like, why am I doing this? And they just punch, which is what you should do. And then Wing Chun becomes very simple.
I'm going to be number one off balance, and number two, there's going to be a space here. If he's a Wing Chun guy, he can lop my arm, and now I have to...
You let him lop your arm, because if he lops the wrist, you pop up the elbow. If he pulls into you, you go right in and elbow him right in the face. Let him. This isn't fair. But this is why I don't like the traditional Wing Chun by William Chung's lineage. They do not know what Wing Chun is. They know how to slap box. They know how to drill. They know how to spar. They don't know how to fight.
Now I have to interrupt his motion. So anytime you do a chin sao, you thread on your own arm.
If you went up like that, I mean, how many of you right now have a grappling or a boxing background where all you do is you're like, wait, your energy's going up like this. You're either moving back to reset and then shooting in for a low takedown, or if you're somebody in Wing Chun and their energy goes up, you know damn well you're going to blast right in. This, again, Dave, you're a taller guy. You have timing you could probably make work better than me. Distance you can make better work than me, but you can't make pressure. If this is how you train, number one, you're lying to your students. Number two, dude, you'd get your ass eaten up by anybody who knows how to pressure.
And it should be in a go bone position. Just like your Wusa from the Solemn Doll form, when it comes back, you bend your wrist back.
No, you don't.
Okay? There's only one time in the Wing Chun system that you don't touch, and that's in the Chum Q form. If he throws a straight punch, I chin sao and I lop sao. It's actually a reverse lop sao, but I'm throwing up the chin sao with my T-step or an exchange step, depending on the side, to gain contact. It's really hard sometimes if he throws a straight punch for me just to lop off the bat. So I use my chin sao.
But if we take today's day and age, no one is going to punch like that, because if everybody in my comment section keeps coming back to the majority of the people are boxing or kickboxing, no one will overextend their punch like that. not even an amateur boxer who's been boxing for a month in a gym. So this is fantastic movie Wing Chun. This would look great in Hong Kong theater, martial arts movies. Amazing. This is irresponsible fighting self-defense Wing Chun. It just is.
To make contact, and then I can lock from there. That's the only time you would do a chin-so without threading against your own arm. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much.
No, I mean, I respect the teaching. You got a school to run. Go ahead and do it. I'm not going to give you shit on that. It's just not responsible. We call it the Indiana Jones, right? Whenever we do a threading motion, that's you put something up and you're in a bad position, then you come up underneath, or if you have that contact going up, we call it the Indiana Jones. For those of you who remember, who are old enough to remember the movie, you had the bag of sand and the golden idol, and the goal was to replace without any sensors going off, but we know how that wound up happening. So in a training context, if you're pushing energy into somebody and you want to regain position, you're going to leave to gain space. You're going to leave that, but it's got to be forwarding going into them. If you're going up, anybody who knows how to grapple is going to know how to overwhelm you and pressure you. Any good boxer knows forwarding energy is going to overwhelm and pressuring you. If you are not using your height and size to an advantage, and again, this could have been a 2-minute video that was done out of context on training and drilling. But I think it's also responsible for us to do content like this. Because if I stumble across this and I say, oh my God, this is how you're teaching your students, what do you think others are going to see that you're trying to market to? So again, this is just my 2 cents on this. It is what it is. I think that I do not like the William Chung lineage. I've said it a million times. If you watch the video I just released the other day, I did a whole hour on it, right? And this is one of the reasons why. Hope that makes sense. Guys, comment below who you want to see, any content at all. I'll get to it as I can. Make sure you hit that thanks button. If you're new to this, like and subscribe. Show us some love, comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.